Good morning, beloveds. So my hair's a little shorter than I was expecting, but that's okay. I don't actually care how long or short my hair is. I'm in an active flare right now with my immune system, and apparently my body decided to just shed all of the hair that... So she's like, well, when it starts to grow back in, your hair's going to be messy. So we're going to make it a little shorter. And I went, okay. So, yay! I have no idea what's going on with my immune system. I just know I'm in an active flare because the tip of my tongue is on fire all the time. Yay! But if that's the worst of it, then honestly, I'm getting off pretty lightly. I've had it where my entire mouth is on fire, my lips are dry and cracked, and my eyes are just on fire, and I wake up in the middle of the night in pain. So I can take the tip of my tongue being burning. This is nothing. So, all right. We are in Science of Mind. Thank you for allowing me to take yesterday off. I got home, I think around 10:30. I was just and then fell asleep. So, all right. So we are in part 5. It is from the teaching of Jesus. We are on 453, and we are starting with that which defiles, which is Matthew 15, 18, 19, and 20. Not what we eat or drink, but what we think defiles. The issues of life are from within. If a person is clean in their mind, then they are clean indeed. We must keep the mental house free of any thoughts which contradicts the truth of being. Life is what the consciousness makes it. This is a great realization. Experience may appear to disclaim this fact, but the principle involved is an immutable one and cannot be shaken any more than the integrity of the universe can be violated. Let each resolve to be true to themselves, true to their inner light, true to the truth as they understand it. When every person learns to speak the truth, a complete salvation will come to the world. If one thinks impurity, then their acts will be impure. If their thoughts dwell on purity and truth, then their acts reflecting their mind will make them pure and true. Every plant which is not of God's planting shall be rooted up. In the long run, everything that does not belong to the heavenly kingdom will be destroyed. Truth alone can endure. Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. Let me remind you that the Jewish people were desert people. They lived in a desert, okay? And there are things which do not preserve well without refrigeration. You cannot, and they can make you very, very, very ill if you eat them, if they've been allowed to sit in the heat. The two top of the list are pork, which it's called trichinosis, and it can kill you. And then shellfish, and I cannot remember that may be salmonella, but it could be something else. But in this case, it's a bacteria, and I forget what trichinosis is. I don't know if it's a bacteria or a parasite. Point being that these things are dangerous if they are not properly cooked and refrigerated. Okay. I mentioned there that the Jewish people were a desert people, right? Okay, so that's what's important to remember in this case, that they are a desert people, and you could get really sick from eating things. So the easiest way to keep people from eating them was to make a religious decree. Now, 4,000 years later, refrigeration is a thing. We understand proper cooking technique. So what we eat is not as big of a deal. It's not as big of a deal. It is still a big deal. But what Ernest's point is what we consume and what we think. Is our consciousness clean? If we are consuming lies, and telling lies, then, or repeating lies, then we are impure, because that is not the truth. But if, and I like that he says the truth as they understand it, okay? Because everybody's going to come to truth from their own perspective. And because nobody sees the world exactly the same, which is, it's just not possible. I mean, even identical twins don't. Our understanding is going to be slightly different. And we don't get to beat each other up because your understanding isn't exactly the same as mine. As long as we can agree on certain points, being kind to one another, helping the poor, comforting the sick, or comforting the grieving, feeding the poor, and comforting and healing the sick. The minutia doesn't matter. So, all right, now, but we got to get off the food thing and get onto the mind thing. Our consciousness is what makes us what we are. All right. When the blind lead the blind, Matthew 15:14. If the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. We must be careful what kind of thought we are following. We must test all ideas to see whether they are of the truth. It is a mistake to accept every person's philosophy simply because it sounds plausible. We are to be on guard against accepting that which is not true, and let us remember that the truth is simple, direct, and always self-evident. False ideas heaped upon false ideas make bad matters worse. The whole confusion of the world arises from fundamental errors of thought. Chief among these errors, and the father to the greater part of the others, is a belief in duality. A belief in duality supposes that evil is equal to good, that a suppositional devil divides with good the kingdom of truth. Such things cannot be. Remember the teachings of Moses, that God is one. If, on the other hand, we accept that evil has a power equal to good, then we must fall into the ditch of our own confusion. And that's why we say that, that yes, absolutely, there is evil. There is evil in the world, but it is not a power in and of itself. It is a misuse of the power that we already have. Which then leads us back to Shakespeare, because, it's neither good nor bad. It's thinking that makes it so. Electricity is neither good nor bad. It's the use that we make of it. Okay? Same thing here. For the most part, water is wonderful. And then every now and again, we use it in a way that is inappropriate. So evil, that's what he's talking about. And Ernest was a big believer in road testing. He's like, look, we can talk all the theory we want, but we're not gonna get anywhere until we actually go out and try this ourselves. So stop accepting people's word for it and go try it yourself. And that is the difference between religion and spirituality. And that's why science of mind is not a religion so much as a philosophy, because we want you to go out and test it. We want you to go out and have your own experiences, because religion leads into other people's, it's like we talk about other people's experiences, but spirituality is you go out and have your own. Okay? So in science of mind, we're like, no, go try this. Try this. See if it works. It's like, stop talking and go do. That's Ernest Holmes. Oh, there's one last line on this. To believe in the good alone may seem fallacious to many, but they who thus believes will find their path lighted by a torch which flickers not nor fails. All right. That's about knowing who you are. All right. Let's see. Who would save their life shall lose it, based on Matt 16:24 through 27. This is another one of those hard, wait, what? Quotes, like kind of though who hath will be given, and those who have not will lose it, what little they have. So this is another one of those. Let's see what Ernest has to say about this one. Which he starts out with, this is another one of those mystical sayings of Jesus, which must be carefully considered before accepting it. Does God demand that we give up everything if we are to enter the kingdom of heaven? Of course not. To suppose that God wills us to be limited is to contradict the divine nature. God's only will is to be, and for all to be. For God can conceive of people only as a part of itself. It must be, then, that what we are to lose is the sense of living apart from life. We find ourselves in the divine idea, immersed in the infinite Godhead, one with a perfect whole. But should we think that we, of ourselves, without this relationship rightly established, can be or can express, then we cut the cord that binds us to the main power line and lose what little power we have. Okay? Right? How did I miss that the first time through? All right. So let me read that again, and then I'll finish the paragraph, or the reading, and then we'll talk about it for a minute. All right. But should we think that we, of ourselves, without this relationship rightly established, can be or express, then we cut the cord that binds us to the main power line and lose what little power we have. We are powered only as we unite with power. We are weak when we desert this power. Not because God is jealous, but because this is the way things work. The idea of a false renunciation, the giving up of all pleasures and benefits in this life, is not even suggested in the teaching of Jesus. Self-effacement, the neglect of the body, the belief that we must be unhappy and poor in order to serve the truth, all these are immature ideas which deny the divine birthright of the soul, the incarnated spirit of the Most High within us. When we are willing to lose a personal sense of responsibility, when we let go of the thought of isolation and claim a real unity with God, then we lose the personal and find the universal. We lose the personal and find the universal. It's one of those things this is that teaching where I figured out what the will of God meant. When I tried to do things with my willpower, I might get a little way, and then eventually I'm going to run out of willpower. But if I use the willpower of God, if I use the will of God, that's coming from an inexhaustible source that's never going to run out. I'm going to get a whole lot further using that will than my own. That's what he's talking about here. All right. But remember, as the greater always includes the lesser, so the universal always includes the personal, which is a personification of itself. A person is to lose the small estimate of themselves, the isolated person, and is to find the greater reality, the incarnated and the real ego. The image of the spirit cannot be defaced, nor can all the wit or the sham of people really obliterate the image. The eternal light is God, and this light illuminates the pathway of the personal when there are no obstructions. Who leans on truth, throwing all with an undivided attention on the scales of reality, will find them balanced rightly through the great law of compensation, which weighs and measures everything exactly as it is. Well, I think I'm going to stop there. I think I'm going to stop there. Simply because that there are so many, and many of the Christian religions teach you. Okay, so let's go back and look at the Buddha for just a bare minute, and then we'll go back to Jesus. Because Buddha, the original Buddha, was a king, or at least a prince. I don't know that he ever became king. And there was a prophecy about him, so his father kept him mewed up in a lush court life and never let him out on the streets. And then one day he got out, and the argument is that it was the spirit that came and got him and took him out for a chariot ride out in, and he saw sickness and death for the first time. He saw sickness, starvation, and death for the first time, and he went, wait a minute. So he went searching for the truth, because his father had obviously hidden the truth for him. And he had already lived the fat life, so he tried the aesthetic life and went, yeah, this isn't working, And so he's like, there's got to be a middle way. And that's, Jesus's teaching is along the same way. It's like, if we overindulge, well, that's greed. And we might be taking away from other people. If we underindulge, if we underutilize what is given to us, then we are wasting our divine birthright. We are wasting the gifts that God gave us, that God intended for us to use. God doesn't want us to be unhappy. The expression of life in nature is joy. I mean, why do you think the birds sing for the sunrise? The expression of life is joy. That is what God, if God could be said to want something, that would be it. Joy, expression, the fullness of life. So, but it's the reminder that if we want to live the fullness of life, to lean into that unity with life, not to try and go at it alone. It really makes me curious, where this rugged individualism came from in the Christian faith, when you're like, but the whole point of it was community. To come together, to be together, to lean on each other, and to lean into the fullest expression of spirit together. Again, I'm going to remind you, this is my opinion. Now, it isn't an educated opinion, but it is still my opinion. If you disagree with me, that's okay. Ernest has, the reason Science of Mind is open at the top is because nobody sees life exactly the same. We all got to make up our own mind. But the very first thing we read is it's important to be aware of what we consume, what we think. And it is our consciousness. It's important to not be following other people's assumptions and to go and test them out for ourselves. And here it's a reminder, lean into life, Don't deny yourself the fullness of the gift of life out of some weird obsession with suffering that a lot of religions have. I'm not saying that there won't be suffering, but but religion shouldn't be should not be contributing to that suffering. So, okay. And I'm back off my soapbox. Now I am going to do what I like to call the housekeeping, which is to remind you that one of the ways that you can, an easy way that you can support the center is to engage with our social media, we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So you can go like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, all the things. So it bumps us in the algorithms. If you would like more information about the center, please email info@creativelife.org to get on the constant contact. You get one email a week. Or, no, I don't think I've done that. Dang it. Ugh. Sorry. It was just a reminder that, oh, yeah. So, hang on. Let me regather my thoughts. Or you can go to the creativelife.org website. So, there were things, and I don't remember what they are, so now I'm going to remember them. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, fantastic day, magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a sunny day, a stay out of the heat day, a drink plenty of water day, a get your week prepared day, a take a nap day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a call a friend day, an enjoy some good food day, a lean into life day, a test this stuff out day, a try an experiment day, a good day, and if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, or, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right? Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. Because the important thing is the person that the divine knows you to be is good. And from there, all things are possible. All things are possible. All right. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. No more breaks as far as I know, unless something unusual happens, because every now and again it does. But more importantly, in about an hour and 10 minutes, well, an hour and 7 minutes, we will have a Sunday service for you. So scroll up a video or go to the YouTube channel tonight, Sunday night, because I'll have it up Sunday night, and check that out. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.